Good evening. Tonight we, in another episode of Sabbat's Dinner Theater, we find KK heading to a abandoned apartment building that the address of which was included in a summons from Bishop Simon Middlewaith. The instructions just said that each pack will send their ductus immediately, and the address was given. The apartment building is in a burned-out section of Lincoln that has never been restored. Where once, back in maybe the 1980s, this was a rather nice fenced-in community. It has since fallen to ruin and disrepair. The few transients which have frequented this place have been scared off or consumed by Simon already. Giving the place a very empty urban decay feel. Crunching over the gravel and dirt and other such detritus on the pavement, KK comes towards the shell of a building. There are no lights on inside. It's just for all intents and purposes, appears to be an abandoned building. However, the front door has been either knocked off its hinges or pushed aside, but it does hang open. An eviction notice, which is probably posted there 10 years ago, still clings to the front door.
Kaylee is actually not dressed in her usual clothes, usual outfit. She's wearing a suit. The sleeves and everything had to be rolled up in order for her to at least semi-make it fit. And she even went as far as to wear a tie and a hat, making her look more like a little boy dressed up in his father's clothes than a small female. And this dice roll is because she has to be very stealthy, because police are looking out for her. That's why she completely looks differently, and I got the successes, so we don't need to get Bram in here to have police mess with us. So Kaylee makes her way to the building, walks in, looks around.
The foyer of what was once a just an open area that has the post boxes and things of that nature, has since crumbled and fallen apart. The stairs going up are almost completely blocked. However, it appears the dust has been shifted in a path as if people have been walking back and forth. There's old condoms and cigarette packets and old Coca-Cola empty plastic bottles laying everywhere. But there's a path, more or less, to what appears to be a service door heading towards the basement. And the basement door is slightly ajar. If Kaylee is perceptive, she may hear movement coming from downstairs.
Kaylee is checking the building. She doesn't really seem phased or anything. It's in her mortal days, these were places that she held up on a regular basis. She'll listen, see if she can hear something, and she'll then follow the sounds going into the basement.
Heading down into the basement, she can see that there is a light, dim light, emanating from what appears to be a room. Getting to the bottom of the stairs, looks like there is a service tunnel that goes from one apartment building to the others. These are large apartment buildings, and this is probably the technician's access, the mechanic's access, or whatever, service access. There is one light coming from a room down the hall, maybe about 20 feet. Blood spatters on the walls, some old, some new. And as she gets towards the door, she can see in a room that was once a type of boiler room, there is, imagine a very large janitor's room. There are bodies hanging from the ceiling, bodies splayed on tables, easily 20, 30 different corpses splayed and dissected in various different ways. And in the middle of all of it is hunched over one of the bodies, Simon, still in his plague doctor outfit. He appears to be watching as a young woman, probably about 20, 21 years old, writhes on the table as he is poking, and it appears that he's vivisecting her. He takes out a chunk of fat, looks at it, and looks up at KK, and puts the fat down, cocks his head to the side of it. KK, you wish to speak or wish to see?
Well, I got an invite. Well, a request, let's put it like that, to come here. But if that is all, if you just wanted to have me down here, then I don't mind going again.
But I asked, do you wish to speak or do you wish to see? Which is more preferable to you?
Speak or see? I usually can't keep my mouth shut, so yeah. In that case, I would speak.
Very well. The woman moans softly as Simon looks down at her and throws a sheet over her. Comes a little closer, he's about 15 feet away. His hands are covered in blood. There's, even though it's black leather, Kaylee can see the blood spatters all over him. He's not really bothering to stay clean through his work. You are aware I have been elevated to the position of bishop, yes?
I was around at the Black Mass, wasn't I?
Yes. That out of the way, I have a simple question for you.
Bring it.
What can the Fireflies do for the city? I would ask what have they done for the city, but they are a new pack, so you are not beholden like the others. What can the Fireflies do for this city and the sect?
What can we do? We can provide a certain amount of knowledge, we can provide investigation, we can provide materials. On that note, we have been doing things for the city. Maybe not as a pack, but as individuals we have been. I've been working on traps, mainly surrounding the several subway stations for the defense of the city. We've also been building on certain vehicles that can be used should the city come or fall under an attack. As for the others, I know they've been in several smaller things. They fended off Pack 14 together with Viker and Owen at the time. So I guess that.
So you would consider the Fireflies a martial pack?
No. No, when it comes to that, we're more of an investigating pack. But we can provide a little bit of combats, but our strength is not in straight out combats.
How many members in your pack, and who are they?
We are 4 at the moment. We have 2 Malkavians, 2 the Sombra. The Malkavians are Siren Child, Winston and Seth, Seth being our priest. The La Sombra are myself, Alistair, and there is a member, but we have not heard from him since, and we think he eloped, who is also La Sombra and goes by the name of Jack Morrison.
So you're missing a La Sombra.
Yes, we think he ran the city.
Hmm. This other La Sombra, I do not know him. Tell me about him.
Alistair, he's new. We're all pretty new. Seth is the oldest of us, and then there's me. I'm 2 months old. Alistair is barely a month old. He is, I guess, he would be our main combatant, and he is a financial advisor, so he can provide when it comes to resources, should need be. But we're still working on that.
The young engage in temporal assets. What do you want from the stay for the Fireflies?
What do I want for the Fireflies? I want them to be able to have their own little place in Zuster. And, well, I want them to be able to live their, well, lives, as far as I can tell, if we still have one. At least in relative safety, and the way that they want to live their life. We have a few of us who are very keen on gathering knowledge. I want them to have the opportunity to get to that knowledge. Me, I just want to do whatever the fuck I want, and, well.
And therein lies the rub. While I am not one to tell the Fireflies what they must do, there will come a time when the sect requires the pack to do things.
Of course.
If you were given an order, I would assume you would obey it.
I'm here, am I not?
Indeed, and it says volumes that you're the first.
Look, I want to do whatever I want. That's given. And I'm not one to keep my mouth shut when I disagree on something. That does not mean that I am disloyal to the Sabbat.
Simon nods, and he says, I believe you. I have touched your mind. I've seen inside. I think you're loyal. I do not have issue with you or your pack. I've met 3 of the 4 of you. And though I find your Malkavian members erratic, I also believe that they are loyal, to a fault. So, I have a duty for the Fireflies. Find the Camarilla infiltrators I've heard so much about. You do not have to engage them unless you feel that it is prudent to do so. However, I want to report once a month on the infiltrators. That's all.
I have not heard. I think we can do that too, but I have not heard of Camarilla infiltrators. Can you at least tell me the rumors that you've heard?
I've told you the rumors that I've heard. There are infiltrators in the city. Could have something to do with the airport vampires that have recently come. Mm-hmm. Whispers come on the wind. If there are no infiltrators in the city, then great, you won't find any. This will train you to be vigilant. If there are, I want them rooted out. I want them destroyed. However, I do not want the Fireflies destroyed. Do you understand?
Yes. Well, we were planning to look into the airport. But at the moment, there are more pressing matters with the police force.
The police. How does one get into a situation like I see on the news?
Hmm. That's an interesting tale, though at this point I have the feeling that we're being set up, but that's not how it started. It started with a simple training in a park that got interrupted by some other Sabbat members that ended in a conflict with police forces, where me and my packmates got seen and the rest of them didn't. Well, we actually didn't fucked up any kind of police officer, no matter what they said. So when we got pulled over by one of their cars a few nights later, that ended, of course, in a shooting. I was not really that interested in going to any kind of police station. Then that happened a second time, not with me, but with my pack members. And at that point, Winston found out that there was another Canaanite aura in the vicinity, a female individual who was at least not at the Black Mass, nor did we recognize her. So when you're talking about Camarilla infiltrators, maybe in the airport, I'm also thinking maybe in the police station, especially after what I heard from Kruger.
Well, here's what you do. You do whatever you need to do to take one of these policemen alive. I only need one. More if you can get them. You bring them to me. We'll find out what they know and who's controlling them.
Ooh, check. So we might move on the police rather quickly. I don't know. Have you been talking to either Kruger or what's the name of that other one? The bishop, not the professor, but the other guy.
Murdoch.
Yeah, that one. Because he got his information from him. You
I
might
will
want to talk to him.
Kruger. Regardless of what they're doing about this situation, what I'm asking from the Fireflies is that you bring me one of these policemen alive.
Yeah, that's. I hear you. Fine, I'll do that. That's no problem.
Good. Is there anything you need of me before you go?
Nope. Just wanted to know if you've heard about Viker.
Only that he's in jail. I have a plan to fetch him should others be unable to do so. Unfortunately, my plan tends to be a bit final. So, we will see what Murdoch and Kruger have in store. Perhaps we can combine what I want with what Viker wants.
What does Viker want?
To get out. So, you have what I need. Thank you for coming.
Sure thing. See you later.
Simon nods and goes back to his work.
Katie turns around, walks out of the building.
Before you go.
What?
There is a possibility that I may be working very close with your pack in the very near future. Keep it in mind. Impress. Then he goes back to... He looks quizzical for a second, cocking his head to the side, as if he's looking very intently at Kaylee, then shakes his head slightly and goes back to his work.
Kaylee just raises her shoulders as an answer, and she hadn't actually turned around to look at you while you spoke. So she'll lift her hand up and she'll walk off.
Okay, and I think we can call that scene.
We can.